of the things of Bihar which remains the same as in many parts of the country is political dynasties. They're not new to India and they're not new to Bihar. In this election, a string of young leaders are contesting. Bihar Gen Next, from Tej Pratap Yadav and of course Tejashwi Yadav, Lalu's children. They are contesting this election. You've also got Shreyasi Singh, the daughter of former Union Minister Digvijay Singh. She's been fielded by the BJP. She was a Commonwealth Games shooting champion in 2018. Luv Sinha, the son of actor politician Shatrughan Sinha, is contesting from Patna's Bankipur constituency on a Congress ticket. And Subhashini Yadav, the daughter of former Union Minister Sharad Yadav, she's contesting from Bihariganj seat on a Congress ticket. So lots of young dynasts, and we want to focus on a couple of them today. I'm joined by Luv Sinha. He is contesting, as I said, from near Patna and Shreyasi Singh is also contesting, the daughter of Sharad Yadav. Appreciate both of you joining us. Luv Sinha, why don't I come to you first? The charge against all the dynasts is the same, Luv Sinha ji, that all of you are there as parachute politicians, that you have not done the hard work or the hard miles to actually ask for votes. How do you respond कि आप लोग सब हवाई politicians, parachute politicians are there?
First of all, मेरा मानना है कि the people who say this, it's basically the opposition, and it's very funny because the opposition is a party I've actually worked with since 2009. I've been with my father since every election. This is my fourth election. It's the only difference is I'm a candidate this time. Others, I've always been with him in every election. So it's very funny when the BJP accuses me of this, especially when they've seen that I work just as hard as their workers, if not harder. And I'm sure that even the Congress, they have multiple options to choose from. If they chose me, I'm sure there was a very specific reason for it. Now, before you ask me what that reason is, I'd like to say that the party knows better. But I'm very honored and grateful that I've been given this opportunity to fight because it's going to be a good fight.
You know, it's interesting you're saying that you say that you worked with your father. I want to take that to Subhashini Yadav as well, because I spoke to her earlier today and I asked her also this question. You're contesting this election in Bihar. You have no political experience. What made you decide, Subhashini, that you want to fight an election on a Congress ticket this time?
My father is part of Mahagathbandhan, and one cannot say that I don't have any political experience. I do have a social experience wherein I've been working closely here in my constituency with the people and helping them. And being part of Mahagathbandhan, Congress party gave me this opportunity, and I'm very thankful to the Congress party.
No, the reason I'm asking you this, Subhashini, is because your father, Sharad Yadav, came through a political struggle. You know, he famously won that big election in Jabalpur during the emergency period. He was seen as someone who took on Indira Gandhi, came through a socialist movement of political struggle. You are an MBA, spent much of your life outside Bihar. Would you say, as your critics say, that you're a parachute politician, unlike your father who was a ground level politician?
Yes, of course, people are saying so. But when I'm moving on the ground, the identity I'm having here is different from what people are talking about. People are giving me a lot of love, support, and the kind of hope they see in me. Being daughter of Mr. Sharad Yadav, the kind of work he has done in his constituency. Nobody has made me feel so yet.
You know,
but yes, there was a political struggle behind my father's political career. I am also struggling without him. I'm campaigning here. Without his guidance, he is not well. So it is a struggle for me as well.
You know, I want to ask you this, Luv Sinha. Is it much easier in a sense for you than it was for your father or indeed a previous generation? You come with the, with an advantage. You are Shatrughan Sinha's son of the original Bihari Babu. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
Okay, so let me answer that, Rajdeep. First of all, the main point here is that being his son means people expect me to be like him. They expect me to reach the heights that he's reached very easily, and they believe that I have an advantage. But whether it's in the film industry or whether it's in politics, my father has never done my sifarish, so to speak. Otherwise, in the film industry, by now I would have done a lot more work on the basis of him recommending me to people he knows. In politics also, when I worked in the previous election, when I was campaigning for him all throughout, I wasn't doing it with the expectation that I want a ticket. I was fulfilling my duty as a son, which I think every son should do. And the amount I have traveled in Bihar, especially last time because of the Lok Sabha elections, I think that I was just as hard as any other party worker, if not more, so to speak.
But there are many party workers who could turn around and say, look, they spend 365 days, 24/7 on the ground in Bihar. They don't get tickets. Along comes Luv Sinha. He's Shatrughan Sinha's son, spends a lot of his time in Mumbai, is associated with the film industry, gets the ticket because you are Shatrughan Sinha's son. I mean, the question is particularly in the Congress party, this sense that, you're almost entitled to a ticket because your father is a politician?
No, I'm not entitled to anything. I've never been entitled to anything, whether it's in the film industry or politics. First of all, if I was entitled, then I would have been given a Lok Sabha ticket in the next election instead of fighting the Vidhan Sabha election this time. Other than that, also, I do agree that there are certain workers who may have felt maybe hurt, but I didn't make the decision, and neither did I tell the party that I would like a ticket. I didn't ask my father. Because like I said, I don't believe in asking anyone to give me something that I don't deserve. And I believe in working hard for whatever I get in life.
Very interesting though that you all are saying this. Subhashini, your father always fought against the Congress for much of his life. He was seen as an anti-Congress leader. You have joined the Congress. Immediately the Congress gives you a ticket. Why join the Congress, which many believe is a party in decline in Bihar?
Mr. Sardesai, as I mentioned before, my father is part of Mahagathbandhan since 2017. And with Congress party, he held so many campaign against the current government by the name of Saja Virasat Bachao. And being Congress the national party and Congress supporting this movement, and this opportunity again was given to me by Congress party. My father was ill. I had no plans to contest elections. But Mr. Ahmed Patel encouraged me to take forward his work and give. Then this is actually giving a platform to Congress party as well, as you mentioned. That yes, of course, in Bihar it doesn't have that cadre-based politics and party people, but yet I am trying to give Congress party also an identity.
I want to ask both of you this in conclusion. What are the dreams and ideals of the younger generation, the Gen Next politicians? How are they different from the previous generation, Luv Sinha? The general perception is Bihar politicians fight on caste. Will this generation next talk about issues like employment, talk about issues like education? That's what the people want you to talk about. Do you believe that the younger generation leaders are more willing to talk about these issues than the previous generation?
So if you've seen any of my other interviews, basically I've been talking about primarily what the issues are that the public faces. Caste is not something you can avoid, but that's not something that should be the priority either. I know my caste. I know that I'm a Kayas. I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, I'm here to go along with everyone. I'm here to try and move forward with everyone if I'm given the opportunity to. Because leaving people behind, I don't think that's the right way. Because to take a nation forward, you need to move ahead with everyone. That's what I believe.
Interesting the way you're putting it. Subhashini, one final question. We are seeing a lot of young women contesting this election. Young women politicians, many of them are daughters of politicians. But how difficult or easy is it to be a woman politician in a state like Bihar, very male-dominated politics?
Firstly, it's very encouraging. I am very happy to see so much women candidature across the state. And second, the acceptance. Women here in Bihar, what I've seen so far, is so much respected. And people here have faith on women. And they are giving so much love and support to me. I don't feel there is any gender inequality in this.
A final question, Luv Sinha. Assume that you lose the election. Will you stay on in Bihar? Are you here for the long run, or is this a flirtation?
So, I'll remind you, Rajdeep, you had interviewed me 10 years ago when my first film had released. I never left the industry. So I don't leave no matter where I start. Whatever the outcome may be, I'm here to stay. And I'm here to fight, even in the future.
Well, that's good to hear that you say that you're here to stay, that you're here to fight. Gen Next Netas of Bihar, and we'll be meeting many of them in the days ahead. For now, we wish you well, both to Luv Sinha and Subhashini Yadav. Thank you very much for joining me here on the news today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.